Hello learners, myself Professor Monali Mahajan from Computer Engineering Department, Kekewang Institute of Engineering Education and Research, Nashik, Maharashtra, India. Today we will see one of the important topic of high performance computing, that are various decomposition techniques. Among the various decomposition techniques, we will focus on four, that is recursive, exploratory, speculative and hybrid. So let us start with the agenda of today's lecture. So agenda of today's lecture is, first we will see what learners will get, that is what are the objectives and outcomes after studying this lecture. Then we will see a brief introduction of the decomposition, and then we will see four decomposition techniques: recursive, exploratory, speculative and hybrid. So let us start with the objectives and outcomes. Objectives of today's lecture is to explain various decomposition techniques that I have mentioned in previous slide. Then to identify this decomposition technique to develop an application. After going through this lecture, what are the outcomes that learner will get? So learner will able to compare decomposition techniques. Then learner will be able to apply decomposition techniques to various applications and analyze the applications using decomposition techniques. So before directly starting with the decomposition techniques, first we will see in brief what is decomposition. So as its name indicates, decomposition means dividing. That is, to solve a problem in parallel, it is necessary to split or divide the computations to be performed by a set of tasks for concurrent execution defined by the task dependency graph. So here decomposition refers to splitting the computation into number of tasks, and that number of tasks will perform that computation concurrently, and this will be defined by task dependency graph. Task dependency graph will focus on what is the dependency between the different tasks of the computations. So there are four important decomposition techniques that are used in parallel computing. First is recursive decomposition, data decomposition, exploratory and speculative. And one more is hybrid. Hybrid decomposition refers to combination of all these four decomposition techniques. So let us start with the recursive decomposition. Recursive decomposition works on the strategy of divide and conquer. Divide and conquer strategy is divided into steps. The first step is dividing the task into set of independent subproblems. And then each of these subproblems is solved by recursively by applying a similar division into a smaller subproblems followed by a combination of their results. That is, first dividing the task and then combining the result, that is conquer. Therefore, the name is divide and conquer strategy. So, divide and conquer strategy is used in the recursive decomposition. Now, to understand the recursive decomposition, let us start with the example. So, example of recursive decomposition, first example is quick sort. That is sorting elements using this method of quick sort. So, we are assuming here that sorting a sequence A having n elements. So, what is the first step in quick sort is selecting a pivot element. So after selecting this pivot element, we will denote that element as X. After selecting this pivot element, partition the sequence A into two subsequences, and we represent these two subsequences as A0 and A1. Two subsequences are represented such that all the elements in A0 are smaller than X and all the elements in A1 are greater than or equal to X. This partitioning step performs or forms the divide step of the algorithm. That is, depending upon the X, the subsequences are produced. Then each one of the subsequences A0 and A1 is sorted again recursively calling the quicksort. Each one of these recursive calls again partition the sequences, and this subsequences or this partition will continue till only a single element will remain. So, depending upon the pivot element in each step, the sequence is partitioned and the sequence will be partitioned till only a single element is there. So let us see an example of quicksort and how it can be done concurrently. So here, as you can observe, the elements are taken as 5, 12, 11, 1, 10, 6, 8, 3, 7, 4, 9 and 2. You can select any pivot. Pivot selection are having different criteria. First, we will use selecting a pivot at random. So suppose pivot element is 5 that I have selected over here. Now, two subsequences are to be formed. So here, whatever are the elements that are less than the 5 will be in one sequence, that is suppose at the left side, and the elements which are greater than the pivot element, that is 5, are on the other side, that is suppose on the right side, greater than or equal to. So as we can observe here, which are the elements that are greater than 5 and equal to 5 are in this sequence, and whatever are the elements that are less than 5 are here, that is 1, 3, 4, 2. After getting these two sequences A0 and A1, again from these two sequences we will select the pivot element. So among these I have selected here pivot element as 3, as you can observe here 3, and here as 9. So what will be next step? Again we have to divide that into two subsequences, that is the elements that are less than pivot and the elements that are greater than or equal to pivot. Therefore here the elements which are less than pivot are 1, 2, and the elements that are greater than or equal to pivot are 3, 4. Similarly here pivot is 9, therefore 5, 6, 8, 7 and 9, 12, 11 and 10. Again repeating the same step. So here pivot is 2 and here pivot is 4. Again elements less than pivot and greater than or equal to pivot. And the same thing is repeated here, that is 5, 6, 7, 8 for the pivot 7. For the pivot 10, the element is 9, 10, 11 and 12. And we have repeated this step until a single element is there. So as you can observe here, that is in the last step or in the leaf node, single elements are there. So we will stop here, that is recursively calling this algorithm, and then we will merge this element to get the final sequence as, what will be the final sequence? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10, 11 and 12. So that will be merged and we will get the final answer as sorted elements. So as I have mentioned in this slide, once the list has been partitioned around the pivot, each sublist can be processed concurrently. That is, this is where the concurrent execution comes into the picture. That is, each sublist represents an independent subtask. That is, what is the meaning of this? This process, that is 1, 3, 4, 2, and the another process, that is here, that whatever I have mentioned over here, that is that two sequences. This sequence and this sequence can be processed concurrently, and here this is how recursive decomposition works. So once the entire list is divided into two subsequences, the subsequences can work concurrently, that is, each sublist represents an independent task. Again, the process will be repeated here till the single element is there. So this is how quicksort works. Another example of recursive decomposition is finding the minimum number in an array. In this algorithm also, we split the sequence A into two subsequences and size of sequence is number of elements by 2. And then we find the minimum for each of these subsequences by performing a recursive call. Now, the overall minimum element is found by selecting the minimum of these two sequences. And recursion terminates when there is only single element left in each subsequence. So let us see the example. Here one sequence is taken as 4, 9, 1, 7, 8, 11, 2 and 12. Now this sequence will be divided. So I have shown here one of the sequence, that is minimum of first two numbers 4, 9, minimum of 1, 7, minimum of 8, 11, minimum of 2 of 12. So this can be divided like this. Then whatever is the minimum among these two sequences, that is whatever is minimum among 4, 9 and 1, 7. So what is the minimum among 4 and 9? 4. Therefore 4 is chosen here. 4 is selected here. Again, what is the minimum? Again 1 and 7? 1. Therefore 1 is selected over here. So in the next step, minimum of 4, 1 will be calculated. Similarly here also, minimum among the 8 and 11. So minimum among the 8 and 11 is 8 and minimum among the 2 and 12 is 2. Therefore the 2 is selected. So among these two now, that is 4, 1 and 8, 2, again the minimums will be selected. So 4, 1 is the minimum value and 8, 2, 2 is the minimum value. And from this last node, minimum value will be selected. That is nothing but the answer, that is 1. So this is the way how the minimum from an array can be detected. So how this can be worked concurrently, that is whatever is this division we are doing, that will be done parallelly. So this task will perform independent of each other and they will have the concurrent processes running. So the one task will do this, another will do this, third will do this, fourth will do this. That will be the one combination to perform finding the minimum number concurrently. So this is the algorithm, that is to find the minimum number in an array. So simple recursion is mentioned, having the two parameters, array and the number of elements. So the number is checked. If n is equal to 1, then minimum is that itself, that is a of 0. Then the partitioning is done in two parts, left and right. And then left is less than rmin, then minimum is that value, else the rmin value. Again the steps are repeated and the partition is like the n by 2 and the remaining elements on the other side. So this is a simple algorithm that is used for the recursion. How you can trace this algorithm is, you can have the values of a as some values and then you can trace by putting value of n as 1 or whatever values you feel, then a of 0, then take some elements in an a, with n numbers and then you can trace this algorithm. So that can be given as an exercise for the learner. Now, after finishing the recursive decomposition, let us start with the second technique of decomposition, that is exploratory. What is the use of exploratory? It is used to decompose the problems whose underlying computations correspond to a search of space for the solutions. So here search of space is the important keyword for the exploratory decomposition. Here we partition the search space into smaller parts and search each of these parts concurrently until the desired solutions are found. So example of exploratory decomposition is 15 puzzle problem. Now what is 15 puzzle problem? It consists of, as the name indicates, 15 tiles, and that tiles are numbered from 1 to 15. And there will be one blank tile that will be placed in a 4 by 4 grid. As it is 4 by 4 grid, there will be total 16 tiles. So among these 16 tiles, one tile will be blank. And a tile can be moved into a blank position from a position adjacent to it, thus creating a blank in the tile's original position. Depending on the configuration of the grid, up to 4 moves are possible. That is up, down, left and right. The initial and the final configurations of the tiles are specified. What is the objective? Objective is to determine any sequence or a shortest sequence of moves that performs or that transforms the initial configuration into a final configuration. So to summarize, 15 puzzle problem will have the tiles number for 1 to 15. There will be one initial configuration and one final configuration. And among these 15 tiles, one tile will be blank. And that blank tile will be used to move up, down, left and right to get the final configuration. So let us see one example. So this following figure shows a sequence of 3 moves that transforms a given initial state to the final state. So A is the initial state that is given and D is the final state that is to be obtained. And as I have mentioned, there will be one blank tile. So this is the blank tile. And this is initial configuration, this is final. So how final will be obtained from the initial? So here 7 is moved up, as you can see here. Now this is blank. So therefore here 11 is moved over here, that you can observe here. And then 12 is moved up, therefore to get the final move. So this is the easiest diagram that shows the easiest configuration that is used to show the 15 puzzle problem. Let us see one of the example of 15 puzzle problem. So here the initial configuration is shown and the final configuration is shown. So in initial configuration, there is one blank tile that is here, that you can observe over here. For this blank tile, 4 combinations are possible. 7 moving to down, 11 moving to left, 15 moving to up and 10 moving to right. So let us see the first task, that is task 1. So 15 is moved to the up, that is 15 is moved over here up. Next let us see the task 2. Now 7 is moved to the down. So here 7 is moved to the down. Next task 3, that is 10 is moved at the right position. So 10 is moved at the right position. And the next is task 4, where 11 is moved at the left side. So these are the 4 tasks that will run concurrently. Now in these 4 tasks, again the blank tiles are there, that you can observe here. For all these 4 tasks, blank tiles are there. This is one blank tile, here one blank tile, here one blank tile is there and here one blank tile. For all these blank tiles, again the different tasks are created depending upon the combination. So here for the task 1, 3 more tasks are created, 1, 2 and 3. How these 3 tasks are created? That is, here 15 will be moved to down, 12 will be moved at the left side and 14 will be moved at the right side. So these are the 3 tasks that are corresponding to these 3 combinations. Similarly over here for the 7, for this particular blank tile, again the 4 tasks are created. How these 4 tasks are created? 6 can be moved at the right side, 3 can be moved down, 7 can be moved to up and 8 can be moved to the left. So these are the 4 corresponding tasks of these combinations. Again for the task 3, 4 combinations are possible. For 9, 9 can be moved to the right, 10 can be moved to the left, here 6 can be moved to down and 14 can be moved to up. So 4 more tasks are possible, 1, 2, 3 and 4. Similarly for the task 4, 3 more tasks are possible where 12 can be moved to up, 8 can be moved to 12 can be moved to up, 8 can be moved down and 11 at the right side. So these are the 3 combinations of the task 4. Again, all these tasks will run concurrently. That is, all these tasks will run concurrently and the final configuration is found out. So when these all tasks will run concurrently, the final configuration is detected at this point. So this is the final configuration that is obtained. So here concurrent execution will go for this level first concurrently for first 4 tasks, 1 that is task 4, task 3, task 2 and task 1, and next for this particular task 3, 4, 4 and 3. So this is how the solution of the 15 puzzle problem is obtained. After studying the 15 puzzle problem, let us see the next type of decomposition, that is speculative decomposition. Speculative decomposition refers when a program may take one of the many possible computationally significant branches depending on the output of the other computations that precede it. In this situation, while one task is performing the computation whose output is used in deciding the next computation, other tasks can concurrently start the computation of the next stage. So let us see the speculative execution. So in a one example of speculative decomposition is switch statement. That is, whenever a switch statement is being executed and one task is performing the computation, that is resolving the switch case, another task could pick up the multiple branches of the switch in parallel. For example, switch and choice. And suppose there are case 1, case 2, case 3 and case 4. So one task will be evaluating switch and choice. At the same time, 4 more tasks will check the multiple branches, that is case 1, case 2, case 3 and case 4 at the same time. That will be done in a parallel. And whenever the input of the switch is computed, the computation corresponding the correct branch will be used. That is, whatever is the choice that is true for case 1, case 2 or case 3 or case 4, whatever is true, suppose case 2, then case 2 will be computed. Remaining all will be discarded. So this is the example of speculative execution. But the disadvantage is this may result in wasteful computation. Why? Because with case 2, case 1, case 3 and case 4 are also computed. That results in wasteful computation. Therefore, the solution is only most promising branch is taken up in the task with the preceding computations. Another example of speculative execution is in discrete event simulation. So central data structure in a discrete event simulation is a time order event list. So events are extracted in time order, processed, and if required, resulting events are inserted back to the event list. For example, whenever we are considering our day-to-day work, that is get up, get ready, drive to work, eat lunch, and so on. Each of these events may be processed independently. However, suppose in driving to work, you might meet with an unfortunate accident and not get to done all the work. Therefore, an optimistic scheduling of other events will have to be rolled back. That is the speculative execution. Now, after studying these decomposition techniques, that is exploratory, recursive and speculative, the last technique is hybrid. As its name indicates, hybrid decomposition is the decomposition that can be combined the other techniques. That is, different types of decompositions can be applied in different stages stages of parallel computation. Let us take an example of finding a large minimum from a large set of n numbers. Here, the two decomposition techniques can be used, that is data and the recursive. Data decomposition technique is dividing the data into different partitions, that is data decomposition. So data may be divided, partitioning the input, partitioning the output, and so on. So let us see the example. So here, as shown in the figure, that is the elements are these elements and these are divided, that is nothing but the data composition. So each task or each division contains the equal number of elements, that is 4 elements are there in each task, that is the data decomposition. After finding out or after doing the division of the data using data decomposition, the next is to find out the minimum elements from this each of this part. So here two tasks can be run concurrently, that is this task and this task, and among these whatever is the minimum element among these two tasks will be find out, and that is the 2. Again from these two tasks the minimum element is find out, that is nothing but 1. Again these two will run concurrently and whatever is the minimum among that will be find out. So here hybrid decomposition have used the combination of two decomposition techniques, that is data decomposition and the recursive decomposition. I would like to inform or I would like to convey one point that here user or depending upon the application the decomposition technique can be selected. So here data and recursive is used depending upon the application, that is finding out the minimum number from an element, from an array. So depending upon application the particular decomposition technique can be chosen. So this is the ending of today's lecture, that is we have studied various decomposition techniques. So you can apply these techniques depending upon the application and whatever is the requirement. Thank you.